AITA for calling off the wedding after my fiancé gave his ex closure without telling me. I, 28F, have been with my fiancé, Tom, 30M, for 3 years. When I met him, he was everything I'd ever wanted. Funny, caring, someone I could actually see a future with. We clicked instantly, and it wasn't long before we moved in together, got a dog, and started talking about kids. Honestly, when he proposed, I thought, yes, this is it. This is the person I'm meant to be with. I couldn't have been happier. But there's been this presence. His ex, Sarah, they were together for 6 years before we met, and she's been in the background ever since. When we first got serious, he'd talk about her here and there, stories about their old trips, inside jokes that would slip out. I knew he had a past, of course. I had exes too. But Sarah was different. She'd been his first love, and I think in some weird way, she was this ghost he hadn't let go of. Still, I trusted him. I figured, if he's with me now, that should be all that matters. That was until about a month ago. One night, I got home after dinner with friends, and Tom seemed off. He was quieter than usual, seemed lost in thought. When I asked if something was wrong, he brushed it off, said he was just tired. I let it go, didn't push him, but I knew something was up. A few days later, I saw a message from Sarah pop up on his phone. It just said, "Thanks for last night." That's it. But my heart dropped. I was frozen for a good minute just staring at his phone, trying to process what I'd seen. They hadn't spoken in years, or so I thought, and now she was thanking him for last night. My mind was racing. I didn't want to assume the worst, but I didn't know what else to think. I confronted him about it that night, and at first he looked surprised, almost like he hadn't expected me to bring it up. He immediately started defending himself, saying that Sarah had reached out of the blue, needing closure. Apparently, she'd been having a tough time, felt like she couldn't move on without talking to him, and asked if they could meet. But instead of mentioning any of this to me, he just went, without telling me. When I asked why he hadn't told me, his answer floored me. "Because I knew you'd react like this." I couldn't believe it. He was making it sound like I was the problem, like my reaction was unreasonable. He insisted that nothing happened, swore he just talked with her all night, and fell asleep on her couch. But he was avoiding eye contact, and the whole thing felt wrong. I asked him, "So you spent the night at your ex's place, and didn't think to tell me?" He got defensive like I was being crazy. "It was just closure," he said. "She needed support, and I thought it was the right thing to do." When I told him how hurt I felt, he brushed it off, saying, "You're being insecure. Nothing happened. I'm with you, aren't I?" That hurt. Insecure? Maybe I'm a little insecure. I mean, who wouldn't be in this situation? But I thought he'd at least acknowledge why I might be upset. Instead, he kept making it sound like I was overreacting, like my feelings didn't matter because he hadn't done anything wrong. But here's the kicker. After we argued about it for days, he dropped this bomb on me. He said he felt better after seeing her, that it was something that needed to happen so he could move on fully. And then, the icing on the cake, he suggested that Sarah should come to the wedding. "It would show everyone there's no bad blood," he said. "It's a way to prove to you that we're really over." I think my jaw actually dropped. I asked him if he was serious. He genuinely didn't see why this would be a problem. "It's just to show there's no hard feelings," he insisted. I tried to explain how inappropriate it felt, how disrespectful it was to even suggest that. But he just kept saying I was being jealous, making a mountain out of a molehill. After that conversation, I was a mess. I couldn't believe this was the same person I'd been planning my future with. I thought about our relationship, about the man I thought I knew, and I felt like I'd been living in some fantasy. I started doubting myself. Was I overreacting? Should I be able to trust him if he says nothing happened? Was I being unreasonable? I talked to a few close friends and family members, and the reactions were split right down the middle. Half of them said I should be able to trust him, that if he says it was just closure, maybe it really was. The other half thought he was way out of line, saying he was disrespectful and manipulative. Who spends a night with their ex and thinks that's okay? One friend asked. I didn't have an answer. I kept replaying everything in my head, remembering how he looked at me when he called me insecure, like my feelings were nothing but an annoyance. The more I thought about it, the more it hit me. If I went through with this wedding, I'd be telling myself that my feelings didn't matter, that I should just accept whatever scraps of respect he gave me. Finally, I told him I needed time to think, that I wasn't sure if I could marry someone who thought this was okay, who kept secrets from me, who put his ex's feelings above mine. He lost it, said I was controlling, that I was blowing this out of proportion and ruining something good. It hurt. This was supposed to be the man I'd spend the rest of my life with, the person I trusted most. And now he was acting like I was some jealous, controlling fiancé, like I was the one causing problems. But no matter how much I wanted things to go back to normal, I couldn't unsee the red flags. I couldn't ignore the way he'd treated my feelings, the way he dismissed my pain so easily. After I called off the wedding, things got even messy. My family was split. Some thought I was right to take a stand, while others thought I was throwing away a good relationship over a misunderstanding. They'd say things like, if he's with you now, shouldn't that be enough? Or maybe you should just let this go. But every time I thought about giving him another chance, I remembered that look on his face when he called me insecure. Like he was so confident that I'd take whatever he dished out, that he could brush off my concerns, and I'd still stand by him. That was when I knew I couldn't do it. I couldn't marry a man who didn't respect me enough to be honest, who didn't care enough to put my feelings above a pointless reunion with his ex. I told him it was over. He was furious, said I was overreacting and letting my insecurities ruin what we had. But I felt oddly calm. I realized that trust isn't just about believing someone is physically faithful. It's about feeling safe, knowing your partner respects you, cares about your feelings, and values your boundaries. It's been a few months since I called off the wedding, and yeah, it's been hard. I still think about the future we planned together and what it might have been like. But I'm also proud of myself. Proud that I chose to stand up for my self-worth, to value my own feelings. I'm realizing now that I deserve better than to be someone's afterthought. And if that means being alone, then so be it. So, Reddit, AITA for calling off the wedding? Or did I throw away something good over my own insecurities?